Hello, world and universe. Welcome to the Trevor Donald Experience. Manifest your truth. And if you're new to the channel, please hit that like and subscribe button. And for all my continued followers, I want to say thank you. And this is an opinion-based video channel where I try to open your eyes and ears up to some of the travails and tribulations that take place throughout our cities, our states, our country, and sometimes around the world. And I got one for you straight out of Nashville, Tennessee. This is another cop going wrong or going bad. But fortunately, this is not a cop story of an officer shooting an innocent civilian, but this is a story about a police officer who was already in trouble for code of conduct, who decided to participate in an Onlyfans skit with a woman in a fake traffic stop. And he had his uniform on and proceeded to grope her, and ultimately the video came out and he got fired. So let's talk about this one. Nashville police arrested Herman this morning on 2 counts of felony official misconduct for taking part in an OnlyFans skit last month. Herman was on duty August 26 when he was seen groping the woman in the video. At first, it wasn't clear if he was on duty or not, but Herman was seen wearing his full uniform and had his squad car with him. Police said Chief John Drake directed that the investigation continue after Herman was fired, resulting in his indictment. So he not only got fired, but he got indicted. News Channel 5 investigates first broke the story after getting tips sent to us about a possible MNPD officer in an OnlyFans video. Apparently, MNPD already caught wind of the video the day before and immediately began their investigation. They say Herman was in the Madison area to film this video, which was the same precinct he covered as a patrol officer. We knew the couple in the video organized this stunt with Herman, but in the week since, News Channel 5 discovered that Herman was the one who asked to do this stunt, the police officer. In the video, Herman identifies himself as Officer Johnson before being invited to reach for the woman's breast. We see Herman's shoulder for a brief moment, which had what appears to be the Metro Nashville logo on his jacket. Herman was fired shortly after, since he was already on a last chance agreement for prior infractions with fellow officers. Police say they found out about the video the day before we called, after several tips were sent to News Channel 5 investigates. They said Herman was already on a last chance agreement for misconduct with other officers, which is why he was fired the very next day after this OnlyFans video got exposed. Herman's bond was set at $3,000. He was with the department for 3 years before his firing, so he hadn't been there that long. So this is how the story came to be. The video titled "Can't Believe He Didn't Arrest Me" was originally posted by a woman named Jordan, who was sitting in the driver's seat of the car. A man in the passenger seat is heard telling Jordan that he knew she would be pulled over for how fast she was driving. The man pans the camera from the back windshield where a white squad car is seen. Jordan is then heard saying, "I'm not going to get a ticket. I'm going to show him my breast." Moments later, an officer approaches the driver's side door and identifies himself as Officer Johnson of the police department. He is then seen reaching into the car and groping Miss Jordan's breast before grabbing his genitals through his pants. What in the devil is going on with some of our police officers throughout this country? Where you have multiple incidences of police officers shooting innocent citizens, knocking at the wrong door. I did a video previously about a San Diego police officer who was taking a female detainee who was accused of being in a stolen car. He was taking her to the detention center, and with GPS, with his body camera footage on, you could hear the conversation, and he decides to turn his body camera footage off right before he gets to the detention center, and he gets in the back seat with the female detainee and ends up locking himself in the car and had to call an officer to get him out. And then he had to explain why he was sitting in the back seat with a female detainee. And of course, he got fired. He hadn't been on the force 3 years. And now we have another, I'm assuming this gentleman is a young gentleman, had only been on the force a few years, this Sean Herman. Then he decides he's already kind of on probation for previous misconduct, and then he decides it's okay to do an Onlyfans skit while he's on duty, doing office hours, in police uniform, and has his squad car there. We got to do a better job vetting our police officers. And some of the things that these individuals are doing, I know they're just human beings that have a badge, but psychological profiles, psychological testing, mental health evaluations have to be at a premium when you are hiring someone that can carry a gun and a badge and can take away someone's freedom at the drop of a dime. What in the world could this gentleman, Sean Herman, could have been thinking that he decides to do a skit and a traffic stop skit in uniform, patrol car there, on duty, and then decides to grope this woman and then proceeds to groping himself while it's all captured on video camera. Of course he needs to be fired, and of course he needs to be indicted based on these allegations. Because what it tells you and what it shows you, this may not have been the first time he's done something like this. He was already under investigation for other previous misconduct situations, and now he ignored that warning sign from his department heads and decides to do an OnlyFans skit. Where are we headed in this world today? If our law enforcement officers, whether it's police officers, lawyers, judges, are not on the right path of the law and are doing what is supposed to be done in a righteous, healthy public safety function, where are we going? Most of these cities are down hundreds of cops. Chicago needs almost 1,000 police officers. St. Louis needs about 400 to 500. The city of New York needs over 2,000, 2,500 police officers. Where are we headed? If we don't have a healthy law enforcement agency that is trying to do the right thing and keep its citizenry safe and protected, what direction is this country going into? Policing and having a healthy, viable relationship with its citizens has been on the brink of despair for several years now through some of the corruption that has been exposed in many of our police departments. I think we do have the majority of good apples in the bucket, but there are a few bad apples and a few bad seeds that we need to vet and wash out. Who knows what Sean Herman could have been thinking? Maybe he wanted to be fired, but to capture all of this on video, and he pretends to be an OnlyFans cop when he's a real cop in uniform. Patrol car can be seen in the video. Then he commences to groping her and then groping himself. He needs a mental health evaluation. He needs to be fired. And of course, he needs to be arrested. This is a sad commentary. He'd only been on the force a few years. Tell me what you think. We got another cop that has lost his mind and has done something that was disparaging to his department, to the law enforcement community as a whole, and it shines a bad light on law enforcement in this particular situation. Something was not right with this guy, and this was not funny at all. Tell me what you think about this situation with a Metro Nashville cop, Sean Herman, who got caught with his hand in the cookie jar doing an Onlyfans skit. This has been the Trevor Donald Experience. Manifest your truth in a positive, righteous, and God-fearing way.